Hello everyone and welcome back. In this video I want to go over how to evaluate the prediction that you have made by using a decision tree model. So I want to start with this visualization which we had discussed earlier on as well, and in this visualization you can see that there are two parts to the supervised learning process. The first is when you use the training data to develop your learning algorithm, and the other one is the prediction phase where you basically use the learnings from your algorithm to make a prediction of the class outcome on the data that is present in the test data set, and that is called the prediction phase of the learning algorithm. So I'm going to talk about the evaluation metrics that we use to evaluate the quality of the prediction. So what we do is that in this kind of an exercise where we are trying to classify the value of the class outcome attribute, we basically use this matrix which is called the confusion matrix. So let's take a look at the different parts of the confusion matrix and how are we going to use the values in there to then evaluate our prediction. So let's get started. So here if you see, this is essentially the confusion matrix that I'm talking about, and take a moment to see what are the different cells representing over here. So if you see that on one axis of this confusion matrix I have the values, the actual values of the class outcome. So it's no or yes. So in this example I'm talking about the binary class outcome variable example. So actual can be yes and no, and similarly the predicted can be yes and no. And this gives me this matrix that I'm going to be using to evaluate the accuracy of my prediction. Now in this we have 4 cells here, and if you see 2 of those cells correspond to the correct prediction. So 50 values are observations where Tn means true negatives. True negative means that the actual was no and the prediction was also no. Similarly, we have true positives. True positives are cell values where the actual value of the outcome was yes and the prediction was yes as well. So now true negative and true positive basically will tell me what is the accuracy of my model. So in order to find out the accuracy of my model, I will add the true positive and the true negative together, which is 100 plus 50 upon the total number of observations in my data. So in this case, you can see the total number of observations are basically 165. So that is the total number of observations that I have. Okay. So that will give me the accuracy. Now in this case the accuracy of the model is 91%, which seems fairly high. But you also see that there are errors in my model. So errors are either false positives or false negatives. So false negatives basically correspond to observations where my actual value is yes, but falsely my predicted value is no. So this is 5 in this example. Similarly, false positives where my actual was no but I have predicted a yes, which is 10 in this example. So these are the 2 types of error that can be there in my prediction. Either it's a false positive or it's a false negative. So what happens is that even though the prediction accuracy might be very high, but depending on the context of our classification problem, the false negatives and the false positive can create serious issues related to whatever decision that we were trying to make. So what we want to do is we want to be careful about measuring the accuracy in a way that we also take into account the seriousness of the wrong predictions. So let's take an example of a situation where, for example, there was a person who was infected with the virus, and actually the person was infected, but my model predicted that the person is not infected. So this is a situation where it's a false negative. So even though it was a yes, the answer was yes, but my model predicted it to be no, and that can have very serious consequences, as we have recently seen in the case of COVID-19. Similarly, there can be issues related to false positive, such as if you think about a spam prediction model that falsely classifies email into spam, even though that email was not really spam, and you might lose some important information in that example. So what we do is we look at some other measures which tell us something more about our model beyond the basic accuracy measure that we looked at earlier on. So these two measures are basically what are known as precision and recall. So let's take a look at precision and recall, and let's see what is it that we are measuring. So for both precision and recall, take into account that the numerator is actually the true positive. Okay, so the precision is true positive upon true positive plus false positive. So precision is telling you that for all the observations where the prediction was a positive, how many were actually positives. Okay, that is precision. So how precise is my model's prediction? And recall is saying that out of the total number of actual positives, how many of the positives were identified by my prediction. So that is true positive upon true positive plus false negative. Okay, so now precision and recall are both important measures of evaluating a model, and hence when we will do the class example, we will not only calculate the accuracy, but we will also calculate the precision and recall of our model. So now let's look at one last score, which is called the balanced F score or F measure. And what that does is it basically takes the harmonic mean of the precision and recall, as you can see in this formula. Okay, and the important thing about a F score is that it balances between precision and recall. So in this example, where the accuracy was actually 99.9%, if you plug in the formula of the F score, you will get 67%. So basically, when you look at the F score, it gives you a more balanced view of the model evaluation. Okay, so that's all that we have, and you can go through the key learning points. Okay, these are things that we have already discussed in class. You can ignore the Gini coefficient. We're not taking that into account. So just focus on the entropy, and that is all. So I'm going to end the video over here.